Yo, what's going on? It's your boy DMV Devin. We're back. Today we're gonna be doing a reaction to the Kamala Harris versus Trump debate. Months ago we reacted to the Donald Trump versus Joe Biden debate, and that was my biggest video ever. I didn't even expect that because I'm not a political YouTuber at all. But you guys liked it, or people who watched it liked it. You're probably a new viewer. I think this one might get more views because it is a popular topic. But we'll see. Anyways, I'm 19 years old. And I'm going to be reacting to basically what is my future, essentially, at least for the next 4 to 8 years. But it's still gonna affect the other elections too. So we're gonna see going into this unbiased. I have been on the side of Trump since the Joe Biden debate, but that's because he was, going up against Sleepy Joe.
Now he's going up against the young, the sexy. Come on, now
I'm trolling chat, I swear. She is kind of bad, but I'm trolling. So we're going to watch this, see how it goes.
Good evening. We are looking forward to a spirited and thoughtful debate.
So let's get started. I want to begin tonight with the issue that voters repeatedly say is their number one issue, and that is the economy and the cost of living in this country. Vice President Harris, you and President Trump were elected 4 years ago, and your opponent on the stage here tonight often asks his supporters, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid, and I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambitions,
is that
the
true, guys? Comment down
aspirations,
below.
the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses.
So
I
want to hop into my opinion real quick on something from what I don't know how to explain this, from their sides, right? Like, obviously what their beliefs are, what they want to do for this country and the economy. But the beliefs I agree with on both sides. I'm kind of back and forth. I know there are a lot of people like that, believe it or not. There are, because you can believe something and not believe the other beliefs. For example, when it comes to the Republican Party, I do not associate myself with Republicans, but I do, I'm a huge, well, I don't want to say huge, but I do really believe in the fact of Border Patrol, that they're trying to, what they want to do with Border Patrol, what Trump wants to do, because it is a massive, massive problem, especially right now, as you can see. Literally, even in the simplest forms, it is becoming somehow a butterfly effect and becoming massive. So he does talk about something in this video, in the election, where he said that they were eating dogs and cats in Ohio. Apparently that's been proven wrong. I'm not going to even agree with that without the proof, but there is something that he didn't mention that is happening in Ohio that has to do with immigrants. Haitians are coming to this country not knowing how to drive on the roads, and they're fucking up everything, and it's starting to actually, fuck everything that's going on, killing people, driving, whatever. You get the gist of that. But it's not even just that. It's really all over. And now it's actually spread from America to Europe. Because the immigrants are going into Europe now, and it's just the whole thing. But it's really bad here. And I mean, it is. They overpopulate every major city, and even not even just the major cities, even the smaller areas, rural areas are going to get attacked with it. And I really don't have a problem with just if you're a normal person who happens to be an illegal immigrant, but unfortunately, the bad of the bunch ruin it for the rest, right? I'm not going to immediately, attack you because you're an illegal immigrant, especially if I know that you're a good person. But what I'm saying is letting these people come in, right, is causing problems because of the bad of the bunch. The bad of the bunch is ruining it for the rest, unfortunately. I think there could be so much good coming out of elite, immigrants or people come from other countries and using what they have here, and making it truly the United States, but there is just too many, we have South American gangs coming here and causing havoc in the streets of fucking, like, Chicago or some shit, like, just a random city, but it really is a problem. in that aspect. And not even just Mexico. People think Mexico's biggest one was the something. It was just, you know, a small little thing, but it's happening all the time. But it caught headlines because these Venezuelan, these two men from Venezuela came into this country illegally, and they I don't think I can say this on YouTube. Someone said they R-worded a 11-year-old girl and they killed her. Now that can happen. American citizens can do that. American-born citizens can do that. But the fact that that we're allowing it to happen at an even higher rate now, because we're allowing people who have, you know, less restrictions in their countries to come in and do the same shit, that is a massive problem, right? It's one thing when someone from the USA does it, but for someone who's not from the USA to come in and do it to a USA citizen, absolutely outlandish on another level.
My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who
And
helped raise
one more. What I do believe with the Democrat side, though, is this one's not really that big of a deal. We have bigger problems, obviously, but I think it is a big deal for women and young, especially more young women. Abortions. I mean, as a guy, I'm not really inclined to tell women what to do with their body in the first place, but I definitely don't agree with making abortion illegal, because it is not. That's ridiculous. We are already overpopulated as it is, and it would save really the future and economy too, because, you know, a lot of the people who need to get abortions are poor, and it just ruins and makes more poor householdings, whatever. So it is a butterfly effect. Again, small thing
I call her our
makes a
second
big
mother.
thing, because
She was a
life
small
is
business owner. I
that's
love
the thing
our
in the
small
future. People are
business
like, oh, he's a human, he needs to live, he needs to, you know, prosper and become, but that's just not a reality, especially in the society we live in. If it's going to live in the fucking quote unquote matrix, I might entertain, if it's going to live in the matrix, if it's going to live in the society that we've built, coming in through a really bad spawn point, like you spawn in fucking BO2, Black Ops 2 or some shit, in a bad spawn with a bad team, something like that, bro, you're destined for failure. And there is no, the come up stories are just, you know, 1 in a billion.
My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to start-up small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump's sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month. Economists have said that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about more a year, because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
President Trump, I'll give you 2 minutes.
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an incorrect statement. She knows that. We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. And the tariff will be substantial in some cases. I took in billions and billions of dollars, as you know, from China. In fact, they never took the tariff off because there was so much money they can't. It would totally destroy everything that they've set out to do. They're taking in billions of dollars from China and other places. They've left the tariffs on. When I had it, I had tariffs, and yet I had no inflation. Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history. We were at 21%, but that's being generous because many
my dad said, he's a Trump supporter, but he did say that Trump was lying about the inflation thing. He told Biden that he gave him a country with practically no inflation. Apparently that's bullshit. I wouldn't even, again, 19 years old, wouldn't even have, like, I'm just now focusing on politics in a very small standpoint too, not a huge standpoint. But apparently that's not. But I do, from what I remember though, the prices and shit and everything was really cheaper when Trump was in office. Just
50,
seeing
60,
it,
70,
there is
80% higher
a slight.
than they were just a few
no
years
inflation
ago.
seems extreme,
This has
but
been a disaster for people, for the middle class, but for every class. On
economy
top of
seems
that,
to be
we
better
have
with him.
Millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums, and they're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans
I
and
don't.
Hispanics.
He's trying to get the
And
votes
also-
with the African Americans and Hispanics, and it's ironic though because a lot of them are like, "What is a Hispanic job? What is an African American job?" I think he's trying to get really on the side of Hispanics now because I guess he's kind of built. He's broke a bridge. He didn't break a bridge. There never was a bridge to begin with Hispanics for him, but yes, Hispanic Americans. But he's trying to say Hispanic American jobs are being taken too by illegal immigrants, and the jobs are being taken in general from just American citizens. Has nothing to do with skin color in that aspect or race or background.
Unions are going to be affected very soon, and you see what's happening. You see what's
That's
happening
true.
with towns throughout
Unions
the
are
United
being
States.
massively
You look
affected
at
by it.
Springfield,
So we
Ohio.
have the
You look
illegal
at
immigrants are
Aurora.
coming in, and especially in unions and stuff, and what he's talking about, especially with like construction, all that in general, they are really doing the work, right? Like for us, for us, but they're taking the jobs from people who actually need it. I'm gonna show you an example. I'm a high school dropout. I'm not going to college. I can't really get a job, higher up job per se, that a lot of other American-born people would have, like a lawyer or some shit. Actually, that's pretty extreme. But still, a medical job or whatever, something like that. The construction job and stuff like that, working in a union, stuff like that would be perfect fit for us. Someone like me, who doesn't have a lot of education qualifications to get a higher, better paying, more efficient job. So it's kind of set for like right there, but then a lot of these job positions are being taken up by people who aren't even legal citizens here. But they're doing the work, and I'll be honest with you, they are doing better than me. Like I'm just saying I'm saying hypothetically, right? They are doing better than me, but it's still a point that if I wanted to, or if that'd be kind of taken from me.
In Colorado, they are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that Xi and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country.
I don't think all.
And even better.
I don't think all. And then they're already trying to stop him from saying the immigration shit. But that's his main thing, bro. That's his fucking thing. That's his gimmick right there. Not even a gimmick. It's really what he's trying to do and say, because it is a problem, and it's become a massive problem. It's been a massive problem for a while, but it's really catching the eyes now that it is a problem from every walks of life, not even just Americans anymore, because it is going to actually affect other countries, even if you think they don't have a say on it. They don't really right now, but it is affecting. I've seen a lot of African immigrants in Ireland causing problems in fucking Ireland, bro. Do you understand how passive Ireland is? America was already a pretty crime-ridden country before immigrants came into it. I mean, it kind of comes from a bad background, so America might not be the greatest example, but Ireland and these European countries that are small, fucking with hate to say it, white people, right? Like, they don't have a lot of shit going on over there until these illegal immigrants come in from their moral complicity and fuck shit up. And it's not all of them, though. That's the unfortunate part. It's not all of them, but it gives the rest a bad rep, and it ruins it for the good bunch.
Border security during this debate.
But it's just how they're raised. It
I
has
would
nothing
like
to
to
do
let
with the fact
Vice
that
President
they're
Harris
black,
respond on the
brown,
economy here.
Well,
fucking
I would love
non-binary,
to. Let's talk
whatever,
about
bro. It doesn't
Donald
really matter.
Trump
It's the
left
way they're
us.
raised and their
Donald
culture.
Trump
and
left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century. Donald Trump
He did
left
have
us
bad
the
health, from
worst
what I remember.
attack on our democracy since the Civil War.
Goddamn.
And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess.
Oh, hold on.
And what I intend to do is build on what we know are the aspirations and the hopes of the American people. But I'm going to tell you all, in this debate tonight, you're going to hear from the same old tired playbook. A bunch of lies, grievances, and name-calling. What you're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again. I believe very strongly that the American people want a president who understands the importance of bringing us together, knowing we have so much more in common than what separates us. And I pledge to you to be a president for all Americans.
President Trump will give you a minute here to respond.
Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025.
I did hear about Project 2025. That when reading that stuff again, abortion came into the topic. J.D. Vance, though, my dad was actually happy about that guy. I didn't know who he was, but from what I'm seeing, he seems to be kind of a dick. I mean, dick doesn't really matter if you're not really relevant, but he just doesn't seem. I don't know. I don't really like him. There's something about him. I don't think he has the same values Trump has, to be honest with you. I think he's worse. I don't understand that, but the Project 2025 is an example. It's being attached to Trump's name, but I don't think it is. For Project 2025, it's not something we should back, though, for sure. But again, I'm talking from a standpoint of I don't really know stuff. I'm trying to come in with a blank slate because I'm not someone who's involved in politics. I'm young, and I'm trying to learn, and you guys can educate me in the comments. Tell me what your things are, what your opinions are, especially if you're older. This is not me thinking, oh, I fucking know everything already. I'm actually so smart, whatever. No, it's actually the opposite. I'm coming in pretty like a fucking premature fetus or something. Not premature fetus, what the fuck am I talking? I'm a fetus, essentially, coming in trying to learn a completely different world. So, yeah.
Purposely, I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas, I guess some good, some bad, but it makes no difference. I have nothing to do. Everybody knows I'm an open book. Everybody knows what I'm going to do. Cut taxes very substantially and create a great economy like I did before. We had the greatest economy. We got hit with a pandemic.